Welcome, everyone. I am so glad you are carving out some time for yourself so that you can prepare for this very powerful new moon that is occurring this August in Leo, because it is a doozy. As many of you may know by already watching this video, that it is also a solar eclipse. So everybody's intense, everybody's emotional, everybody's feeling what's globally happening on the planet. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so as always, I have a little mini presentation to share with all of you. And I'm going to keep myself in the screen up in the corner just for a little bit, but there'll be times when I'll take myself out so that we can just focus on the presentation. All right, so this is the monthly new moon intention gathering. And it really is a great time to focus and embrace your intuitive downloads that you're receiving. And remember, this is a free event that I host each and every single month just before the new moon so that you can use some of the secret hacks that I'm sharing with you to really prepare and carve out some time for yourself before the new moon, maybe even after. I always say there's a good window, at least 3 days, the day before, day of, and day after. So you're always going to receive this recording before the actual new moon. And remember, you can bring a friend when we go back to the live recording, or even share this with a friend. Okay, because everything gets loaded up onto YouTube and it comes into your inbox. All right, let's get started. So this is just a little agenda for myself. It just keeps me on track, keeps the presentation on track so that everything flows and you all get the most benefit for your time by listening to this recording. So if you are new here, or this is your first time and you've met me recently and you want to learn more about what I do, this is how I always recommend that people connect with me to really understand, because I am not just your average astrologer. In fact, I have a lot of trainings that I've studied over the years, and I'm really focused on wellness. So I am a women's wellness astrologer, and I'm very passionate about teaching women how to use astrology as a template to keep them emotionally resilient, to keep your vitality strong physically, and for your own spiritual evolution. Because I guarantee you're going to start to recognize that what's happening up there is also happening down here on the planet. Meaning, I'm making reference to what's happening in the astrological sky. It's that saying, as above and so below. So this is a great way to really learn what it is that I'm teaching, what I'm doing myself, and then what you can do as well. Because even if you are already following me on social media somewhere, I host these events so that we can do something very specific for each and every new moon. Okay, because the sun and the moon are in a different position in the astrological sky. So, as always, I have some very simple suggestions for housekeeping. You can follow them if you like, but this is, again, my personal practice. So, when you're listening to this, or it is around the full moon or new moon, I encourage everyone to always drink more water. Try to get pure water if you can. I've actually got some peppermint essential oil, pure grade essential oil in my glass. It's summertime here in the Northern Ontario. or Northern Ontario, in Ontario, Canada, and it's hot. So this helps keep me cool. Actually, it helps with digestion. So I use it a lot more often than not, and it's pure. And also, it keeps my internal body cooler because I get so excited when I do these live events that, the fire element, the heat energy goes through my body. So it helps to keep me calm as well, too. But I'm going to encourage you, drink more water, always use a blue pen. I recommend that. Reason why is because blue is a protective energy. And so when we write with blue, it's creating a safe space for what it is that you want to manifest or what it is that you are intending. I would never use black, it's too negative. For manifesting, black is good as a grounding energy. It does serve a purpose, but not for the magic woo-woo. That's what I recommend. And a blank piece of paper, whether you're typing into your phone, you are still writing on paper, which I'm a little bit old school and I do. This is my template that I'm going to be sharing with you that I print out every month. So you're going to see it on the screen during the presentation. And also, this is what I literally write out every single month during the new moon. And on the flip side, I do the full moon. So I'll be talking more about this later. And also, I encourage you to light some amazing incense and or use a candle. Okay. So we're tapping into all of the elements of astrology here. Oh, I guess that was kind of low on the screen. Or use a candle. Okay. I don't recommend alcohol or hallucinogens during this window of time, because I want you to focus on what's really coming up for you in your own body. Okay. So the definition, again, a lot of people that come to my events are not astrologers. They're passionate about it. They love it. But to become a certified astrologer, it does take many years. It's a rabbit hole you get into. If you are genuine, you will never escape. I swear that'll be what you look at every day. I don't look at the news every day when I get up in the morning. I'm looking at the apps to see where all the planets are, what's happening in the astrological sky, so that I can interpret what's coming up for me, what's happening globally and collectively, where it's showing up in my personal life. And yeah, so that's what I use. I use it for weather forecasting, for what's happening globally, and again, to help me stay emotionally strong and physically resilient. Okay, so I write down my notes, I post on social media, and I have it here that I'm going to share with you. So, what is the new moon? The new moon is when the sun and the moon come together in the astrological sky once a month. This is every 28 days. It's what we were taught in school. Okay. So they literally come together, which means it's a very introspective time. The sky is dark. It's meant for you to spend time alone, be more introspective, and connect with what's happening for you. Okay. So we call that conjunct. All right. Now, technology hasn't been my friend lately. So I'm going to share a picture of you, an astrology photo. I'm going to have to jump off the screen and share with you a different screen. But the new moon is happening on Wednesday, August the 12th at 1:36 p.m. Eastern time. I am in Eastern time. And I usually share it on the screen with you. So I'm going to switch screens here. We're going to flip over to another one. And I did that separate so that it does work. I don't know why it's not coming up on Canva, but this happened a while ago too. So that's okay. We will work around it. So again, you're not astrologers. Sometimes people are astrologers, but this is what the sky will be looking like for the new moon. Now, remember, this is you in the middle. You're the person or the earth or whatever. So when we're going to look up and we're going to look into the sign of Leo, which is right up here at the top, the sun and the moon are going to be together in the astrological sky. This is the moon glyph. This is the sun. Also, what I'll be sharing a little bit more information with you as well is that Jupiter is also in the sign of Leo, okay? And this matters. And Mercury is now in the sign of Leo. So Mercury was recently retrograde. He just came out of his post shadow period. So there was a lot going on with communications within family members. Definitely was a theme that we had talked about and discussed in this for the last couple of months, actually, because it was a big theme as Mercury was retrograde in Cancer. So that was a lot about family stories, old stories that needed to come up for healing, for a new perspective, to look at things differently. It had a lot to do with the value of women and time. We talked a lot about that because Cancer represents women. And so there's a lot of the women's wounding stories that have been coming up for healing, generational healing. And so, we're starting to see, even globally, what I've noticed is that, more women have been put into places of recognition and on center stage. So I'm noticing it as I've been watching Major League Baseball. I'm a true Blue Jays fan, the only team in Canada, and seeing all the women that are now presenters and speakers. And Leo represents like any type of venue where it brings together large amounts of people. So and that goes along with professional sports. It's theater, it's royalty, it's celebrities, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that has been a running theme. And now we're going to see the ongoing forward momentum of that in a big way. All right. So pay attention to what's happening in the news, because also this is an eclipse energy. And that's because the nodes of the moon, which are not planets, they're the shadow of the north and south energy of the moon. The north node is in Aquarius, which is opposing Leo. And that means the south node is in Leo. So you don't see the glyph for it in here. So with this eclipse, the south node is in Leo. And all of these planets are literally in Leo, and they are across from Aquarius. So if you are a Leo or you are an Aquarius over the next 18 months, your life is really going to shift. And also Pluto is down here in Aquarius. And Pluto is all about power struggles. Okay. So we might see a lot of big shifts happening globally where secret information or the truth of something is going to come out. And so people that are in places of leadership might come down, because wherever Pluto goes through, it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. He's going to knock it down so that something new can begin. All right. It's just what these planets represent. Okay, so we're going to see some big shifts. And also personally, on a personal level, wherever these planets are in your astrological birth chart, in the house of your chart, is where you're going to see these big changes happening. Okay, so I try not to give too much astrology talk in these, but just explain to you what's also happening in the astrological sky. But the good news is I'm just going to share, and I'm just going to touch on this now, but we won't do the recap later. Venus is trining all of these planets, and Venus is now in her home sign of Libra. So that's a really nice energy. It's where we need to take action, though. And she's in her home sign, but she's going to go retrograde soon. So there's still going to be a lot of this stepping into our value, especially for women, because these also represent planets that represent women. Okay, so let's get cracking. I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and we're going to get back to the presentation. And let's keep rocking and rolling. Okay, so there we go. And while that's flipping, I'm going to take a sip of my water. So then if you don't know me, if you're new, you're always going to hear this story at this presentation. But for me, this hosting these group events for women literally started way back in 2015 for now. So now I'm working on my 11th year. Okay. And this is a real picture of my brick and mortar business that I had in Southern Ontario, where initially back in 2008 or 2009, I opened an organic, raw, vegan takeout wellness center where people could come in and buy fresh made organic juices. Everything was made fresh, organic by hand. Smoothies, we made our own fresh almond milk every day. Desserts, salads, everything was raw foods. It was more about cleansing and detoxing because I was already a certified health coach and I had been studying to help people deal with challenging times using natural remedies, things like essential oils and Bach flower essences and herbs and the teas and herbology. But I was learning at that time more about detoxification and healing the physical body through food and re-nourishing. And so when I bought this building, that was my main focus, was to have the food and then offer coaching programs for women. But I'm going to be honest, at that time, it was, I didn't have a real business plan. I was very passionate. It was a great location for me because my kids are going off to college and university. Like, it was big shifts that were happening. But what I found was that a lot of my customers and clients were coming in for the food. They were holistic practitioners themselves, or women that had been diagnosed with cancer and, they needed the healthy food, and, or health coaches and whatever. So I was bringing together a lot of people in the health and wellness industry, but what was missing was a place to connect, creating community. And so a lot of them, I became friends with. We started sharing our stories. And one day someone mentioned to me, like, why can't we all just get together? And it was like, well, let's get together on the full moon. And I wasn't an astrologer then, but, as studying holistic work or whatever, you start tapping into that and you start bringing in other wisdom and knowledge. And so our first event was on a full moon, and women started coming together, and they just kept coming back every single month. And the group got so big, we had to change rooms. So this was the little room downstairs where I had the juice bar and whatever. And literally, that is when this all began, of bringing women together. Okay, so we're going to get into the secrets here that I'm going to share with you. Again, I encourage you to do this each and every single month. So, the first secret is I want you to pay attention to either your dreams or what's coming up for you in your meditations, and really pay attention to what it is that you're feeling. What is your heart telling you? Okay. Embrace whatever is coming up. Sometimes it's some type of a fear. Sometimes it's aggravation. Sometimes it's something powerful and strong. And it's just like, whoa, something just seems to be like blossoming out of somewhere else, probably because you've been doing the work on yourself. So you're really shifting. Okay. Whatever it is, I'm going to encourage you to embrace it. Don't be afraid of it, because that's what's true for you. So I'm going to teach you what to do with that in just a moment. But again, trust your intuitive downloads. And also, what I want to share with you is kind of the definition of why coming together or listening to these recordings, sharing them with your friends, sharing them on social media, how you can create more of an impact, okay? Not just for yourself, but also how this enhances what it is that you're writing and the action steps you are taking, because everybody watching this, collectively, our energy is coming together. So you're not doing anything alone. And the definition of this is called the Maharishi effect. Now, I got the definition of this through a book, through Joe Vitality, when he was teaching about the Ho'oponopono prayer, the Hawaiian prayer, and I never forgot it. I was like, oh, I understand this from a math and science point of view, because I was a nerd in school and math and science were my big subjects. Hello, astrology. That's what astrology is. It's math and science. And so I want to share this with you so that you understand, by even sitting there and spending time by yourself, but collectively doing this as the part of this community every month, this is what you're tapping into. And so the definition is the phenomena in which large groups of people effectively spark positive change by focusing on a common goal. And when we meditate or we pray together on a common outcome, or we're writing something down as our intentions, you and others can collectively tap into the energy field of abundance and start eliminating the common blocks and the patterns we all have. All right. So when you're stepping into something new, whatever it is that you're thinking about or creating it, as we all come together in this, your energy gets stronger and stronger. Another definition of this is E squared. Remember that from school, right? And there was a book called E squared by Hay House. Okay. So what that means is when one person is writing or meditating or doing something, it's just the energy of one. But when you add another person's energy into the pool, right? It's not 1 + 1 = 2, because everything's energy. It's 1 multiplied by 10. That's what E squared is. Okay. So 1 times another person is the energy of 10, which equals 10. You add another person's energy into it, it's 10 multiplied by 10, which equals 100. You add a fourth person's energy into the room, it's 10 multiplied by 4, and it's the energy of 1,000. Okay. So do this every single month and just follow along and listen to what I'm sharing with you about what's happening in the astrological sky. And you'll start to see that everything you're writing or what you're focusing on is going to happen a lot faster. Things are going to become more clear. Your intuitive downloads become clear. You get more clarity. All right. So this is the beauty of all of this. Secret number 2. So I'm going to encourage you to use the following template to also connect with your intuition. And I want to encourage you to take the time. So you're going to be able to take a photo of this if you want. You'll be able to see it on the screen. During the recording, you can pause. And I'm going to encourage you to write it down. Like I say, use your blue pen or type it into your phone or your laptop or whatever it is that you're doing. And really focus on what's happening. So again, just like on my sheet, I'm going to share with you. The new moon this month is happening in the astrological sign of Leo, and it's happening at 1:36 p.m. Eastern Time. But the secret is to focus on yourself, because a lot of times women come and they started coming to these gatherings because they were feeling frustrated or something was happening in their personal life, and it was happening and they were feeling the energy of other people's stuff, because usually I attract empathic women, right? But the truth is, I don't want you to block it out. That's why I don't want you to use any alcohol or hallucinogens to really like shove it down. I want you to feel it and to be honest with what you're feeling. But you got to remember, you can't change anybody else. You have to focus on yourself. It's what the book of Mel Robbins has written about. This is universal teachings that have been around for a long time. You can't change anybody else. You can't change what people say to you, what they do, whatever. You have to learn to always focus on yourself. And so you'll become more successful when you can do that. All right. And this is how these little secret hacks are going to work. You work each and every single month. So I'm going to encourage you to write down what feelings are coming up for you. So for myself, it's been a lot of, leadership and having strong moral values for myself and embracing the higher value of the wisdom that I've been carrying. And so a lot of things in my personal life and my business have been changing. And I've really taken the time out over the summer, like I said, to deal with family issues, family stories, been focused on family gatherings, taking time out to listen to what people are needing to let go of, or the stories need to change, and speaking up for myself and saying, wait a minute, that story that you keep saying, that's not my story. So turn that off. It's not that version of me, that a story that is correct, and asking for space for people to listen to me as a woman and as a mom. Okay. Because these are big issues that have been coming up. Also, my mental thinking patterns of planning, right? Because taking the time out as a Capricorn and doing nothing and not feeling guilty, the intuitive downloads have been coming in like crazy. And so my intention was in the early summer was to take a holiday for the 10 weeks of the summer. That was a big deal. So my holiday is until the middle of September. And so by claiming that, what's been happening is that I've been able to let go of old identities and old things that have been happening, and the downloads have been coming in. But rather than doing something, I've been planning out my calendar and putting things on my date. So when my holiday is over, I've kind of got a step-by-step process of how I want to reestablish myself as more of a stronger leader with a new bit of branding, cleaning up the branding. Okay. So I've been thinking about that, right? That's been my focus, because the mental body is what we think. The feeling comes from our heart, right? The feelings of high value and leadership. Okay. So what behavioral patterns did I need to embrace? time off, right? And not feeling guilty. And I'm telling you, that was hard in the beginning. But of course, you all know me by now, I'm sure, if you've been in here for a while, what remedies and things and holistic things have I been doing? What action steps have I been taking? So I have been introducing myself to new places in the local community. And I've been letting go of old positions in Northern Ontario where I've been living for the past 10 years. No more volunteering there, stepping down, saying thank you, letting go of old business things, changing things on social media. I've been cleaning all of that up, cleaning it up, feng shui, organizing things in the place that I'm living, like just letting go of old stuff, right? And so I've been embracing my abundance beliefs about much higher value of my time based on my knowledge and experience, not based on by the hour. Okay, if that makes sense. So I know a lot of you have been resonating with a lot of the stories that women have been sharing and what they've been feeling as well. So this is what I have been writing down, and I'm going to encourage all of you to do the same. Now, also on my piece of paper, what I do, especially for the new moon, I do share on social media, which you guys are seeing. Newsletters are going to start up again soon because you received this video, because you are on an email list. But I also share with you what I feel is going to be really important right now, especially with this eclipse, because we really need to stay grounded. We're going to feel the energy of all the fear that's going to be happening collectively because there is just so much going on globally as well. So it is a really powerful time. And the two the two main recommendations that I want to share with you for this eclipse is to really focus on staying grounded. So I'm going to share with you the healing properties of Arbor Vitae essential oil. I use a little bit on my face in my facial skincare, but it'd be great to put in your diffuser. It's a very grounding energy because Arbor Vitae is a massive tree, okay? And so, whatever's happening on top is happening below. So we really want to stay grounded for these changes. And also, I've been recommending off and on a lot lately is lavender. And it's lavender season. So it's the cutting season. I've been out to the local lavender fields. I've picked some fresh lavender. There was days where, the whole little place I'm in just smelled like fresh lavender. I can still smell it. I've put more near my bed. I do use it frequently. But again, put some in your room, spray some on your pillow, use it in your diffuser. I use it, everywhere else. So I'm going to encourage people to use that and any type of grounding foods. So even things like grounding plants that come from the earth below the surface. Okay. So things like ginger, right? Anything that's growing under the ground right now that's in season. For here, it's things like potatoes are coming out fresh. Like we want our physical energy to stay grounded. And also for some people as well, because there's so much fire elemental energy happening with all of these planets in a fire element, the opposite of fire is water. So, if you are feeling the effect of just too much happening too fast, go near water, spend time in the water, in the fresh lakes, in the oceans if you can, and just allow all that crazy, chaotic energy. Just let the water wash it away, okay? Or even hit the bath. Maybe throw some of the essential oils in the bath as well, okay? We're gonna give you a recipe for a bath in a minute because you guys know I always have the recipe here for you. Okay, so the next step, the next secret I'm going to share with you. Oh, hold on. Before I do that, hold on. I'll share it in a minute. Okay, we're going to talk about Arbor Vitae. So the other thing I want to share with you is to take a photo of your template. And the reason why is because we're going to do a final step at the end. And so I want you to have an image of this somewhere. Now, I've been keeping mine and I've been putting them in a file folder even after taking the photo. I will burn them all later. The reason why I held on to them, though, is because I guarantee within 6 months, the sun and the moon are going to be in the exact opposite positions in the sky. So they're going to be in Aquarius. We're going to be talking in February. And I guarantee what you've written on here, some form or shape of it is really going to be coming to an effect. All right. It's going to be manifested more and more within the next 6 months, especially with this eclipse energy happening, because the eclipse is an 18-month window. Okay. So don't be shocked if what you wrote down really does manifest. So that is the power of that. Now, I'm just going to share with you the healing power of Arbor Vitae so you understand why I'm recommending it right now. Again, I'm going to read from my little healing book because I feel it would be a very powerful essential oil for you to use at this time as well. So it is the oil of divine grace. And Arbor Vitae assists individuals who believe or act like all progress must be made through struggle and solitary effect. Instead of trusting in the divine, these individuals unconsciously block divine aid, choosing instead to live by their own efforts. Arbor Vitae addresses the need to control one's outcomes. Okay, it invites individuals to live with peace and joy in trusting the abundant flow of divine grace, right? Because change is going to happen. This is an eclipse. Arbor Vitae is also grounding that teaches divinity is all around us, and it can be felt and experienced here on earth, and it's not distant or separate. God or the universe or spirit, whatever you call it, can help find balance in life and teach what to hold close and what to release. And Arbor Vitae's Latin name means to sacrifice, and this oil invites individuals to sacrifice their personal will and ambitions for a far more fulfilling way of living. And by surrendering, the mind relaxes and the soul experiences harmony and peace. Remember, Venus is in Libra. So Arbor Vitae teaches that true strength can come through emptiness or a willingness to receive that strength. And it asks individuals to just relax, take a deep breath, and trust in the flow of life. And Arbor Vitae assists the soul to live effortlessly by divine grace. Okay? That's why I'm choosing it as an essential oil that I would recommend. It's expensive. Again, you only need a little bit, but in times of big change or whatever, that's what I say. We have to stay grounded. So do what you can to keep yourself emotionally balanced. Okay. So also, this is a picture of the new moon, like I said, an example. And I am going to pull a card for all of us right now for this new moon energy. And this is the deck of choice that I'm using. She's fellow Canadian, Wisdom of the Oracle. So I've already pre-shuffled, but I will shuffle again. If a card pops out, we will use it. If not, I'll just pull one. And this message is for all of us, including myself. So I just love it, love it, love it to use these cards. Oh, and a card has come up. Okay, it's popped out. So Unfinished Symphony, it's a 10. which means it goes back, you add the 1 and the 0 together, it's 1. It's a 1. That's an amazing number for a solar eclipse. And again, the picture on here is beautiful. It's wings, right? On an egg. There's a face in the egg. Yeah, unfinished symphony. And there's an image of musical glyph. So I'm feeling the energy of Venus in here too. Something to do with music. Look at the wings are music. Song or a story. But let's see what the oracle's message is. Okay, so essential meanings: unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. This is a time to tie up the loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or a project in mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now and practice radical acceptance and take inventory so that the emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you're leaving things unfinished. So reflect on what is past so the symphony can finally end on a high note, right? So as the changes are coming in, we're really closing out an old chapter of even a story theme that was similar, actually, believe it or not, of 2007, 2009, when the nodes were also in Leo and Aquarius back then. So the best way to describe it is what we focused on and what we started back in 2007, 2009, even for me, when I started that business, was like the preview. And so now it's the show. Okay. It's all the things we had to learn about ourselves within that past period of time, those 18 years. So now we move into a new cycle of it. So depending on your age, you might want to reflect. So again, we're just clearing that up, looking at the wisdom that we can get, that we have gathered for ourselves, clearing up loose ends and getting ready to step into a new chapter, a new phase. All right. So, woo, I'm feeling that. Okay. So here we go. Again, I recommend this recipe every month for the new moon. It's powerful, you know. I also say I've recommended a couple of other things this month or this week, but here's the recipe that I use if you have a bath. 1 cup of natural Epsom salt, half a cup of baking soda, 8 to 10 drops, essential oils of your choice. Again, I recommend frankincense on a new moon because it's such a spiritual energy with frankincense. It was named in the Bible. It's considered the king of all essential oils. So again, as I studied essential oils many years ago, if you don't know what essential oil to use with something, if something you need it physically or emotionally, your go-to is always frankincense. Always frankincense. All right. It's an amplifier of spiritual wisdom. So it really works on the higher chakras. And it's also from the ground. It's very grounding as well. And patchouli is very grounding, and it helps to give us that physical stability as well, even for financial growth, because as we come out of this new moon energy, we want to manifest what it is that we want, right? So we want things to blossom and grow. So patchouli is a wonderful essential oils to use. So I'll leave that with you, and you're free to use it, that recipe or not. So again, before we close out and I share a few more final secrets with you, if you are new to this or you've been in here a little bit and you do want to know a little bit more about your own astrological birth chart, again, for your wellness, you don't need to know the exact time because we aren't going to talk about your ascendant. But when we focus on wellness, we can just use your day of birth and where it is that you were born, or I can offer you more guided information to keep you emotionally strong. And you're going to have this information for life. Okay. You're going to get, well, I'll share with you what you get in here, but this is your opportunity to purchase this pre recorded, what I call my soul to soul astrological wellness consultation with me. So it's not live, it's pre recorded, but I do take the time to do the research and understand your chart. Okay. I don't do chart readings on the flash, but this is where we're going to go deeper so I can offer you more personalized, empowering insights and wellness tips, along with a strategy to help you align with your daily and weekly habits according to your unique chart so you can achieve that stronger emotional health and physical vitality. So, what I mean by that is life's not going to take your, it's going to be okay. According to my chart, Tamron said, this is what I need to always get back into to help keep me balanced. And it's different for every single person. Okay. It's going to be unique to you. So there's going to be 5 tips I'm going to share with you based on astrological planets. And those things are going to help you feel validated about what you might already know about yourself, where your subconscious landscape is, that where people don't know anything about you. In fact, sometimes this insight really makes people go, wow, yeah, that is who I am. And I need to focus more time on that. Maybe share that with other people. Okay. How your logical mind works, which is different for everyone. So sometimes in our relationships, whether it's personal, business, whatever, people think differently. And so this is why sometimes we get into arguments with people where you could say to someone, no, I said this, but they were like, no, you said that. Well, that's probably because you have different signs. Your logical mind placements are in different signs. So sometimes you're going to clash with people. Sometimes you flow with people, it makes it easy. So sometimes we're in relationships where people get you no matter what. But this just goes to show with you that you have to practice more patience and have more understanding with other people that are different than you. Okay. That's really important. Your karmic spiritual lesson, and I give everybody some spiritual homework to do, which is unique for your chart. Plus, I'm going to give you one personalized wellness action step based on one specific element of your chart. Okay. And there's something bonus in there that I'm going to share with you that always stands out. So again, it's a little bit extra because, this is just, a basic consultation, but it's powerful information. And then also included with the recording, you're going to get a PDF image of your chart. And I'm just going to give you a document that everything that I'm sharing with you in the recording, so you have all the information written out and you can look at that any other time. You don't have to watch the video. You can just look and go, okay, Tamron recommends this. And then once you've made a purchase inside of this community, that's where you're also now going to be kept on our email list, but also you're going to get an invite to the VIP full moon gatherings that are going to happen 2 weeks from now. So you actually have to be a paying member, and you only have to, purchase something in the community. But this again, we're going to go into the full moon, which is the exact opposite energy. So as the community builds out, this is where we come together as more of a close-knit community. And again, you're just part of the Inner Lights Academy, right? So you're going to get an invite to that as another bonus event each and every single month. So again, here is a testimonial of a woman who is still a member of our VIP community as well. And she just loved her consultation that she purchased. Again, I'll share with you the price in a minute, because you're only going to get the low ticket price by coming to this new moon event, right? So, but her consultation just blew her mind wide open. And she wrote here, the combination of my intuitive gifts with my astrology skill is pure magic and so validating. Like, her life made so much sense. And that did for me too when I became an astrologer. And the insights that I gave her in her chart explained so much about her life, plus things that only happen inside my head, right? So there was stuff I said to her, and she was like, yeah, that's how we think. And I'm like, yeah, that's you, but that's not other people. So you have to remember that. And she wrote, it feels like I sensed her soul, and I suggested the homework she could do for the balance. Thank you for the inspiring, fascinating, and truly unique to me experience. It was a life changer. So thank you, Maggie. Thank you for sending in that testimonial. I appreciate it when people do that for me. It just helps to spread the love and to validate the work that I'm doing. So again, just to recap, you're only going to get this low ticket price because you've come to this new moon event and you're watching the recording. Okay. So I only do so many a month because I'm busy, but I do still want to help people. And I do have other high ticket offerings that are scheduled out throughout the year. So being Canadian, again, it's a low ticket price of $147 plus tax. Okay. So if you're American, you're gonna see when you purchase and you click the link, it's gonna be in Canadian dollars on the link. But when you get your statement, it's going to be around $125-ish for Americans. Okay. So for Canadians, it's about 166 bucks. All right. Now, again, it's a huge savings, because when you're working with the certified astrologer and not some little app or some woman saying, 20 bucks, I'm sorry, that's not what I do. I'm passionate about helping people. So my regular price is $497 plus tax. And so you're going to get a massive savings. Again, you can purchase this at any time because now you are in this community. So again, you're going to get the link, and it's going to be in your newsletters or your emails each and every single month. So again, super great price. Anybody wants to buy you a gift or any type of holidays or Christmas, this is when you want to buy them. Here's the QR code that takes you right to the payment link. Okay, you can take a photo, you can stop the screen if you need to. Also, this is the direct Square link. I use Square. Okay, you can take a photo of that or copy and paste or write that down. And the final step that I want to share with you is, once you've taken your photo, what we do is we crumple it up and we throw it into the fire, and it's done. The universe has heard your prayers, your wishes, whatever it is you want to manifest. And so I want you to hold this space for that it's manifesting. You've already brought it into your consciousness by, thinking about it, writing it down, taking action, doing something about it. That's why I'm asking you to start feeling something different. Use the remedies that I'm suggesting, because it has those healing properties to help you shift all levels of your body and to take action, right? When you do something, that's when the magic happens. Okay. So throw it into a fire outside. Do not burn your paper in the house. Someone did that one time and I was like floored. Okay. And also, just to recap, like I said, with this new moon energy, the solar eclipse is happening in Leo. Mercury, the planet Mercury, and Jupiter are both in Leo now, and they are opposing Pluto. This is big energy and a lot of fire. This is a lot of fiery energy. So people might be upset. People might be angry. People might be just like this is my way, this is, my way or the highway type energy, or I need to have the final say, or you need to listen to me, you need to do what I'm telling you. That type of energy, there's going to be a lot of that because there's a lot of fear happening, right? So with the Leo energy and whatever, that's a lot of fear. And because Pluto's in Aquarius and the nodes in Aquarius, whoo, it's everybody. It's going to be global stuff. There's going to be some big shifts happening globally that is just going to rock people, right? So we have to stay in our physical body, spend time by ourselves, go outside and play, have some fun. Okay, so this might show up for you to become more confident in your appearance, your choices, your identity. This is what Leo's all about, It's also about hair, by the way. So, I wore my hair differently today. And also for this video. Leo, it could reignite a romance or recognize what you truly need to feel appreciated in a relationship. Remember, Venus is being activated, right? Return to a hobby or a talent or creative passion that you've neglected, or experience developments involving your kids or your relationship with them. That really got triggered for me last week. That's what I got to say, because Leo rules children, by the way, and Leo is ruled by the sun too. So that's the ruling planet. So parental energy as well happening with that. Establish stronger boundaries because you're no longer willing to diminish your light, right? Leo is all about your light. It's all about you shining. That's what Leo is all about, right? The let them theory. You live your life your way, I will live it mine. It's all about equality and balance. Making pleasure, recreation, and fun a genuine priority instead of something you earn after everything else is finished, right? Put it in your calendar, just like 10 weeks holidays for the summer. Take that courageous step to something maybe you've been thinking about for a while, right? What's been brewing up inside of you? What changes have you been wanting to do? All right. You can ask yourself, what old version of myself no longer fits who I am today? Right. For me, it's that, the preview. Now it's time for the show. What genuinely makes me feel alive and free? Or what would I do differently if I stopped worrying about being judged? Ooh, that's a big one. That's always a big one for everybody. And as we become more successful, that's always going to happen because actually the judgment isn't from us, other people, it's actually us. So we have to remember the universe is showing us that. So that is the recap again to share with you. A new moon affirmation is I have the courage to express my creativity in a beautiful way. That would be a wonderful affirmation. And again, feel free to follow me on social media, through my other social media channels. Things are going to be changing a bit, though, like I said, over the next few months as I reduce some rebranding. But again, all those changes will be reflected on that social media, on that Linktree link. And again, always a reminder to stay connected with this community. Check in your inbox for if you're just going to stay here at the free level for the new moon intention gatherings every 4 weeks, because we do this before the new moon each month, right? So you can always invite your friends, send the replay out to other people. So now you've been added to our email list. So you'll get updates on anything else that we're offering or doing. I'll be doing my weekly videos again soon with the rebranding. So you're going to see week to week what I can share with you all. And you can unsubscribe at any time. Remember, we're always sorry to see you go, but, we love it if you stay. So again, thank you so much for participating by listening to this video if you're still here. And, with a lot of changes happening for women, this was a sign I used to have in my house. And I just love it. So, I'm always taking photos of nature and things like that and little quotes. And just remember, well-behaved women rarely made history. In other words, we don't need to keep ourselves small. We're ready to blossom and to help to create more peace and balance on the planet. And that's a lot of what women represent. So this is a great quote. And I'm going to sharing my screen, everyone. And I've been babbling now for an hour, so I try to keep these within an hour. So I accomplished that again. Thank you for listening. Share. See you all again soon. And take care of yourself during this eclipse energy. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.